yeah, great opportunity for us to get to hook it up against someone else, for the first time this season, like it, was for both squads. Give Pitt a bunch of credit. They played well. They responded to a really good start from us, and they played great. They played with great physicality. They executed. It was a great game. I'm really excited to get, on the bus and the plane back to watch it and correct some things as we got Harvard in less than a week and then Holy Cross on November 3rd.
What did you notice about Pitt after they started to get back after you guys took that lead?
Yeah, I feel like they adjusted to our pace quickly. But the kid number 7, DeMarco Minor, I thought his command of the game was really, really good. He had a really good feel for what was going on consistently. They executed their stuff. I mean, these you never know. The first game, we don't know exactly what they're running, if they're running the same stuff from last year. So we didn't really this went into this thing thinking it was going to be more about us testing our principles, our shell principles defensively. We didn't go over any of their sets or stuff and stuff, but so it's going to be good. It's going to be really good film for us to go watch and improve from and get better from.
And you mentioned the fast start. I imagine that's how you want this to look this season.
Yeah, it was good to start, and I felt like it was a little let down when we went to the second group. I even felt it was still a little sticky at the start, but that's going to be some good film to watch to start, and try to sustain that for longer.
And I've got to dig in the tape a little bit, but defensively, just first impressions, what were the biggest challenges for you guys?
Yeah, I got to watch it. They ran a lot of sets. They were set heavy tonight, and that's both your own defensive principles, as well as scouting. We know what's coming, how we're going to guard it. There's a lot of stuff we've seen, we work on, but need to clean a lot of stuff up. I think we cut it to 2, with like around 4, it felt, and they got an offensive rebound. It led, and they extended it back to 9 or so. Finished at 7. So yeah.
43 boards plus 5 on the glass today. Is that something you feel like you guys can build on moving forward?
Yeah, we want to rebound the ball. I thought we could have been, even better with our offensive rebounding thrusts, but to a point to give us a much better opportunity in transition. We kind of were going in there aimlessly some, and they got key rebounds. They got free throw rebounds. So it should have been better. And I mean again, they shot 47%, so it wasn't a lot of misses. They were making them.
Kim, historically, a lot of scrimmages have been closed. What do you like about an open scrimmage with fans watching?
I like the closed ones better because we can kind of control if we want to do periods, if we want to get different lineups in, play a game at the end. For some of your guys that are out of the rotation, maybe to see them. We're not the NBA yet, where we can really go into the preseason with just no. We're not gonna think too much into the game. When you have fans, you're playing to win. And we played to win. Pitt played to win, and they won. They played well. I like the closed ones better. But in this era of revenue generation, I think you're going to start seeing more and more of these. Next season in Providence, I think we're going to have a lot of fans this game.
Do you walk away being really impressed with any of your guys today?
Again, as I look through our roster here on the box score, I think everyone had moments, good moments, and I also see opportunities where we could have been better, and so that's my focus. I was disappointed in our group from a lack of. I think there were a ton of opportunities for us to dive on the floor for loose balls. Daquan Davis did it 3 times, which you love to see. Everyone had good moments, but a ton of opportunity for growth. That's really the most exciting thing, I think.
And you mentioned your rotations would be more experimental almost today, compared to maybe the Harvard exhibition. Just looking back to when you guys were up, I think 18-6 early, that you went to the bench. Do you think in the regular season you kind of rolled this card?
Yeah, I would have 100%. I had a rotation sheet that I really wanted to stick to. We had the minutes allocated, what we wanted, and we got away from it a little bit. Duncan a little bit more, Oswin a couple less, Jason a little bit more. So yeah, we wanted to stick to it as much as we could. So I stuck to that. I definitely would have rode that way. We had 16 points in 4 minutes, and then I look back at the score a few timeouts later. It was like 18. I think Jameer's dunk was the only bucket for a while. Yeah. So yes, that was a trial run.
And Cole went down a little bit, and Rich didn't play tonight. Any update on either one of those guys?
Yeah, Rich. He had a little. He took a shot in a fall yesterday in practice. Cole, I haven't spoke to Chris yet. It was something with his leg. I think he said he was okay at the end. I just wanted Oswin to finish. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Thanks, guys. Hey, guys.
Hey, Kim, I know you just said something about Rich Barron. I think I caught that. The other guys who didn't play, any injuries or just, couldn't get in today?
Yeah, Jalen Harrell is going through some knee struggles. P just didn't get in. Yeah, Rich is dealing with some pain.
You talked a little bit about your offense. How about defense? It seems as if that's how Pitt got back into it, and then down the stretch, I think he cut it to 2, and they had a lot of dunks and layups around the rim in their stretch where they went away. Just obviously, we didn't see the game. I'm curious what your defense was. What'd you think?
Yeah, your offense and your defense are married. They're married, and our inability to create good advantages on offense led to some less than desired shots, which leads to poor offensive rebounding balance, which leads to poor transition defense. And they did a good job. They did a good job getting to the rim, and we didn't do a good job protecting our rim. I think at halftime, they had attempted 16 layups, in which they were 14 for 16 on something good happening from it. So, again, I haven't watched it yet, Kevin. Again, I've watched it once, but I'm excited to really, dive into it and watch it on the flight home.
Okay.
Hey, Kim, when it comes to Stefan, how much have you kind of maybe found yourself and maybe the coaches kind of giving him more of a leash and, just his improvement from his surgery?
Yeah, he's getting better and better and better. He's had great days. Again, this was a great first opportunity for him, just like all the guys. We talk about, rise to the occasion. You fall to level of your preparation. These games, under the lights, fans, popcorn, it does jack you up. It does jack you up really, really high. And so the real challenge is like, man, we just got to get to that level every day and practice. So when you do get under the lights, it actually slows down. So, again, I'm excited. I think it was a great opportunity. I thought Pitt did a great job. Excited to watch it and have a week to get ready for Harvard.
We talked about the opportunity for your players, but how about for the coaching staff as well? What, making adjustments and things like that. How much is a game like this helpful on your end?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Our staff has good, obviously Gomes is new, Brian is new, Sean Brown is new. I've known Brian forever, but the game flow was good. It was good operationally, which is practice for that as well, how we operate with timeouts and communicating and substitutions and lineups. So I think it was a smooth game. Someone asked me in there, we probably would not have yanked our starters after such a hot start, but I wanted to stick to the minute allocation we had going into the game. I wanted to give everyone a shot to see what it looked like with what a rotation would look like if it was a quote unquote more neutral game.
Hey, Kim, not seeing the game, shot quality from your threes. After the hot start, your threes, you didn't make many of them. Do you think the shot quality was pretty good?
It was great at the start, and truthfully, Kevin, and again, I don't know, I hate talking too positively before really, really watching it.
Yeah.
I felt like we turned down a lot of shots. I felt like we turned down, and I just believe as a philosophy, turn down threes from good shooters turn into turnovers. bad shots and turnovers. And then you end up with a clock shot that, you don't want. I thought it was popping really good early and we got great shots. And, again, I feel we didn't come in and sustain that level.
Kim, what'd you think about what Quan gave you off the bench today? I'd say he gave you some pretty solid minutes.
Yeah, he did. His defense was good. He rebounded the ball. Again, we want to see his assists be more. He does a great job getting to the paint. He's so competitive. He's such a fighter. He's just such a dog. And, sometimes if you find yourself down, he can take that same competitive drive and try to go get it all back. Just want to keep helping him, get better at running it for us.
Kim, Duncan has improved as a three-point shooter as his college career has gone on. Just, how has he looked shooting the ball in practice, and how much did that translate to today?
Man, with Duncan, it's all about him getting acclimated to the pace in which we want to play. What's up? Man? The pace in which we want to play, and he's gotten in shape. And Sean Brown has done a great job getting his weight to a level that's optimal for him. And when he's done that, he's had about 8 straight really good days. What's up, man?
Hey, Kim, last one, just overall, yeah, like you said, you'd rather do a closed scrimmage, but take an awful lot of positives out of this, needless to say, right?
Absolutely. That was my message to the group in the locker room. I'd much rather this is like and they were all down. They're competitors. These guys have been great thus far, but it was they were really down in the locker room, like it was a regular season loss. I liken it to a heck of an opportunity to really get to hone in exactly on what we know we need to work on and get better at it, but with some evidence. Coach Felton can talk about jumping to the ball or being a good low man to take away layups as much as he can until he's blue in the face. Brian can talk about our cutting principles and our transition attack as much as he can, or hitting the open man. But when they actually see it and feel it, when we as coaches call fouls in practice because your hand's on someone's waist and you roll your eyes, but in a game when you feel it with Big East officials, it kind of gives a new level of credibility to it. And that's natural. So I'm excited for everyone in the program to watch this, get back and get better and get ready for Harvard in 6 days.
All right. Thanks, guys. We got to get to the airport.
Thanks, guys.